Bang, bang, chicken gang. Game Cox. Let's do it. Game day reaction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, on Facebook. Listen, if you are seeing this right now on Facebook, this is what I need you to do. Go on YouTube, search at Southern Fried Sports JD. We are about to give all of the game day reaction. So if you are a Ohio State fan, Coach Vince, I know you're a Michigan fan. We've got Gamecock Chuck over here in the YouTube stream as well. Plus, we have a very special guest, a Gamecock fan, Rowdy Rooster, who will be joining the show for the first time. Looking forward to this conversation. So on Facebook, listen, we're going to end this live stream. So if you're on Facebook and you see this, go to YouTube. I want to hear all of your game day reaction. All right. This is JD, the Southern Fried Gentleman of Southern Fried Sports. Y'all come on over here to YouTube. We'll see y'all soon. Be blessed, not stressed. All righty. And so now that that's done on Facebook, we've already got Gamecock Chuck. What's up, my dude? What's up, brother? Great win for the Gamecocks. Yes, sir. We are going to dive all up into that very first. But let me go ahead and introduce a good friend of mine. Worked together for a while. A Southern Fried Gentleman for sure. This guy, he's as nice as they come. He'll give you the shirt off his back. And then that's the good things that happen here on Southern Fried Sports. You be a good fan of your team. You be a fan of the show. You help gain subscribers for the show like my man Rowdy Rooster has done. Also, hey, he won the gift card. $25 gift card for subscribing to the stream. So that could be you, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let's talk about the game day reaction of football. And let me bring in my man, Rowdy Rooster. Hello, my good sir. How are you this evening?
How you doing?
Man, we're doing good. We're doing good. So let's start off. Don't give me your players of the game or anything yet. Let's just break down your initial thoughts. What were your thoughts on the game? What did the Gamecocks do right? How do you feel about their play going up against Mizzou, who is losing currently to Oklahoma? I think the playoffs are out. I don't think there's going to be too many 10-2 and 9-3 teams in the SEC that we will not be able to climb back there. But we could be looking at a top 15 finish based on how the rest of these few weeks go. So, Rowdy Rooster, what was your thoughts on the game? What about Vanderbilt? Obviously, we knew they were going to be dogs. So, you just take a minute. You get your stuff out. Get your feelings out here, bro.
Well, first off, I appreciate you having me on. It was a great night. I'll give you that. It was great. We done everything that we needed to do. Time of possession was critical. We knew going into the game that Vanderbilt was gonna have most likely be the winner of time of possession. That's just how they play their game. As long as we can manage them, keep them behind the chains. As long as we keep them behind the chains and stop them from being in third and short, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, we were going to be okay. Getting them in long yardage situations really helped us as a defensive front because, you know, Kalkenor and Stewart coming off the edges are just amazing.
Man, well, and I will say this. Let me stop you right there real quick. Let me interject this. I will say that Diego Pavia, man, my dude, hey, he had some scrambles. They had some great quarterback draws there.
Yeah, he's a stud.
I got another. Hey, the other JD just jumped in. Johnny Doughton. He bakes, by the way. He bakes bread. I don't know if he ever made donuts or not, but if he hasn't, he should. So from one JD to the next, roll Tide. And yeah, that was actually I meant to swap from this stupid Missouri game, to be honest with you, to the Alabama Alabama LSU game. We'll get into that one too in a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to interject there too, Rowdy.
Yeah.
Diego, man, he had some long runs. He was able to extend some drives. That was probably one of the most frustrating games I've seen because our defensive line was there a lot, but they couldn't quite get home. And so, yeah, I just wanted to interject there. Continue, though. What was your thoughts on the offense? Rocket Sanders, anybody on defense? What else did you have there?
Well, touching back to the defense real quick, you are right. Diego did have some really good runs in critical situations for them. But if you noticed towards the latter part of the game, towards the end of the third quarter, we started running actually a spy on him to stop him from running right up the middle. Yep. Because when we're in man coverage, we have nobody. So that was critical. That was great by Clayton White making that decision to do that. Honestly, the whole game we were able to drop everybody in coverage. We really only blitzed. Well, we really only rushed 4 people. Every now and then we'd bring a corner or something like that. But our front lines, they're studs. But I'm gonna tell you this, I can't say enough for Knight. Demetrius Knight, he is an absolute dog.
One of the fastest linebackers I've seen in a long time, dude.
21.
Yeah, 21, 22 mile an hour, and he got some weight and stuff. For a lot of people, and Shane Beamer said this the other week, for a lot of people that wanted him to fire Clayton White and Luke Day, he said, man, I made a great decision by not listening to everybody and, following what they said. The offensive line, they did a good job keeping Sellers upright for the most part. Of course, we saw Sellers fumble again, which you don't want to see. But the one thing I wanted to mention too, and I'll get your thoughts on, the game has slowed down tremendously for Lenore Sellers. And to me, that spells trouble for everybody else going forward in his career. With his athletic ability, legs, throwing the ball, he's got to learn to put some touch on it still. And I actually mentioned the other night watching Lamar, I think that's who Lenore Sellers needs to be watching film of as much as possible. Lamar Jackson. He could literally be a Lamar Jackson type. If you're not watching Lamar, maybe Cam Newton. But
bigger body, but I see where you're going there.
Those two dudes, and Lamar Jackson has the easiest throws sometimes that I've ever seen. Like literally just like flick of the wrist, and it's good to go.
Defense is key on that run, man. Once you get the running game going, I mean, you got Rocket going, you got Attaway going. He did well, but I mean, once you get in a scramble drill, they don't know whether he's going to run it or pass, and they have to play the run first. I mean, that's just how that goes. But
and it's like, oh, do I come up and defend the quarterback, or do I stay back in coverage? What do I do? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do with my hands.
One of the best plays I've seen him make all year was when we almost got caught in a safety, and he just breaks out of the tackle and strolls around left side for a 51-yard gain. I mean, that's key Lenore Sellers. And you're right, the game has slowed down tremendously for him. And a lot of that, I believe, has to do with Dowell Loggins helping him out. Dowell Loggins has learned what cogs he needs to put in which places to get everything to run smoothly.
Right. Okay, and I'll agree there. I was very doubtful about Dowell Loggins, but the team has done what they always do. They improve throughout the year. The one thing, too, I wanted to say was, Lenore Sellers, absolute dog. But what Rocket Sanders has brought to this run game, and Sean Elliott, too. I mean, give Sean Elliott credit. But the offensive line and the run game coordinator, Sean Elliott, and then, of course, Rocket Sanders. I think that Rocket is going to be the hardest player to replace on our roster come this offseason. What say you? How do you feel about that?
I'm with you on that in a way. We have a pretty good stable of backs. We just haven't really featured them much this year. And I don't quite know why we haven't seen Juju as much as we have this year. But yeah, Rocket's probably going to be the hardest to replace on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively speaking, I mean, E-Man Worry, if he's gone, that's going to hurt.
First round talent.
He's played his way into the bag, as people like to say. But him and Kilgore are just they're great players. I mean, they've grown up. Well, E-Man Warrior's been doing it since he was a freshman, but Kilgore and O'Donnell Fortune have really solidified the back part of the field. And then if you look at our interior line, we're losing some dudes on the interior line. I mean, that's going to be key.
Boogie.
That's good. Yep. I mean, don't forget we're losing some good linebackers. I mean, we got a lot of veterans on that crew, and they know how to play ball, and it's showing. But the thing is, that's when your player development comes in. You know, who do you have ready? Who's next man up? We saw some flashes of some people today. Ben Martin Scott, one of them. But we're gonna be okay. It's just you got to hit that transfer portal. And Beamer in my mind is one of the best in the SEC in the transfer portal. I mean, just look who he's gotten over the past few years.
Yeah, I mean Kyle Kennard. I'm pretty sure Knight come to the portal. Plus most of our wide receivers.
Hey, don't forget. Who do you pick? Oh, Rattler. You can't forget Rattler.
Right.
I mean, portal. So it's we've got some studs. And I'm gonna say one more position on offense that I believe is gonna be critical for us to get one in, and that's tight end. Because the way Lenoris likes to play, if he's gonna continue to be our quarterback, you've seen our tight end game be really efficient, especially the last two games. He didn't get as many touches this game, but I mean, against Texas A&M, he just scorched them.
Right, Josh Simon for sure. I think we do have a couple of freshmen tight end. I think it's Michael Smith. I think is one. Yeah. He had a couple of catches today.
They say he's a freak, but here's my thing. You know, I know he's young, but if he is that good of an athlete, why haven't we seen many sightings of him? So maybe he's still learning.
Right. And that's the same thing with Nick Harbor.
Yeah.
Nick Harbor.
But hey, shout out to Nick. What do you have? 2-3 catches tonight? I mean, he's done well.
He's still, for whatever reason, he is not a very good outside blocker on the screen game. It's almost he kind of like waits on the person to come to him.
Yeah.
Instead of going and attacking. Yeah.
And you know that could be him, but that could be how the coaches are wanting him to do it. You know what I mean? We don't know. We're not in the building, but I agree. Coming from being an offensive lineman, you know, you're supposed to always attack. You don't want to wait. But I've never been a receiver, so I can't say for him for that. But our tight ends have done a lot better blocking, and our outside run game, outside zone, and stuff like that. And our screen. I mean, just look at the screen pass we had today. I mean, you saw a double team down the field, just obliterated a defensive back, and Rocket done Rocket things and took it to the house. And that was a perfectly timed play call, honestly.
Right. Yeah. And Dowell, he's been impressive. Johnny Doughton, he chimes in, the other JD, as he likes to call himself. He likes that linebacker Knight. He used to live in South Carolina, so he keeps up with it a good bit. He is a stud.
Yeah, absolute certified.
We're gonna move off of this conversation. We are gonna have to replenish though plenty this offseason. I think Rocket is the most irreplaceable player that we're gonna lose. Nick Emanwari is a good one. I had the defensive back room as one of the strongest rooms coming into the season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Defensive line has stepped up. Offensive line stepped up. What a game though between the Gamecocks and the Commodores. Let's move on though. We've killed a bunch of Gamecock talk so far. So let's go though over to here. Let's do your players of the game for the Gamecocks real quick, and then we'll move to my next topic.
All right. Defensive player of the game, Demetrius Knight. Made tackles all over the field, sideline to sideline. He even broke up a couple passes. I mean, great in coverage. Dude's relentless. Offensive side of the ball, the offensive line. Say what you will about what they were earlier in the year, but these dudes are putting together running games. They're putting together running games against really good defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, if you didn't see the game, Lenoris's pocket was clean majority of the game. Yes, sometimes he scrambled because that's what he likes to do. He didn't have to. That goes back to our receivers not creating separation. That's not always on the offensive line. You
Right.
can't hold the ball for three. You can't hold the ball for 3.5 seconds and expect nobody to come at you. So, but the pocket was great today. The offensive line has stepped up. They just need to keep continuing to grow and get continuity with each other. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we stay healthy. Now that I say that, we're probably something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Knock on some wood here, but it's those are my players of the game. Demetrius Knight for defense, and then offense is going to be an entire offensive line. They played well tonight.
Right. Well, of course, leave it to the offensive lineman to shine a light on an offensive lineman. I know you got one over there at Woodruff. And again, though, ladies and gentlemen, this is Southern Fried Sports of GreenvilleSportsMedia.com. Don't forget the Furman Joust. I have not checked the Furman score today. We've been doing bunk bed stuff. We've been doing all kind of stuff. Wifey's birthday was yesterday. So, again, happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Kara.
Happy birthday, Kara.
Johnny, Gamecock Chuck, Mom, Dad, any of you guys that are here right now, though, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget Dubby Energy Drinks. Use promo code JD672 to get 25% off of your first order. They've got energy gummies. They've got energy drinks. They've got energy shots. Anything you can imagine, they got it. Check them out. Use that code JD672. And then, like I said earlier, you can win gift cards around here. Rowdy Rooster won a gift card. So we're going to tie a nice little bow on our Gamecock talk, though. Let's jump into the other most popular team here in the state of South Carolina, Clemson Tigers. And I'm going to tell Rowdy this. So, Rowdy, dude, I told you the first half, the Clemson fans were unhinged. The best was the standard. What is this nonsense? This offense looks atrocious. And then, of course, Clemson comes out, has a strong second half, wins with ease pretty much, 28-14. It was 28-7. Virginia Tech, sorry, Uncle Poops. Sorry, Mommy. Y'all's Virginia Tech Hokies did succumb to the Clemson Tigers today. So, Rowdy, what did you think about the Clemson game? Where was that offense? And all of those Clemson Tigers, they were deleting those tweets in the second half, my friend.
Yeah, it was definitely a DEFCON 1 for there for a minute. Clemson's been odd this year. They've had games where they've started off fast. They've had games where they've started off slow. I still think they're trying to find their identity under Riley. I really do. I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think for the first few games, I think that Dabo kind of held a string on him. It was like, hey, we're going to do this instead of this. And then you saw him take the training wheels off and let him do his thing, and they started putting up points. But I'm not necessarily so sure it's about what Clemson done that Virginia Tech might have done. They're at the beginning of the game, they were putting consistent pressure on Cade. They were making him very uncomfortable. He had to roll out of the pocket, try to throw on the run. He's not always been the best throwing on the run.
But he is a runner. That's what's
he will run. He will run the ball.
Yeah, he doesn't have that throwing precise accuracy, if you will.
Cade is a really good pocket passer, and he's a really sneaky runner. You don't think he's going to run as much, and that's something that he didn't do a lot of last year. And that's something I believe they wanted him to do more of, and that's why you see it more now. But sometimes it's just about what the defense is giving you. I mean, hats off to Clemson for the win. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but I'm happy. I guess I'm happy for him.
We shout. Hey, that's all right. We keep it a buck here on Southern Fried Sports.
I know.
So, yeah, like I'll freely admit I'm a Gamecock fan. You are a Gamecock fan, but sometimes listen, I don't hate no Clemson people. I just want y'all to lose. And you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing with political stuff. Vote for who you want, live and let live. And as we say here, be blessed, not stressed, and just be kind to one another. Dang it! But did you have anything else on Clemson? What else you want to say?
I did. I do. You seen their linebacker play and their defensive interior play a lot better in the second half. Mm-hmm. They were getting more push. They were winning the line of scrimmage in the second half. In the first half, it was kind of 50-50. You were just waiting for that one thing to happen. Then they started getting on a roll in the second half, and that's pretty much it, man. Clemson's one of them teams. You get them on a roll, they get on a roll, and they're really hard to beat. They're really hard to beat. It's gonna be interesting to see how the ACC shakes up. That's for sure.
Right. Well, and that was one question that I asked earlier today. And so we'll dive into a few more of these games. I'll lead this question into my next game that we'll talk about, which will be Miami and Georgia Tech. Whew. So the question that I had, listen to this. Did Miami finally losing today cost the ACC a chance at getting 2 teams in? Because I could probably make a very good argument that obviously I don't think Clemson's going to play their way back in. And so you've got SMU and Pitt. We already know that the SEC and the Big Ten at minimum are probably going to have 3, maybe even 4 teams. For Big Ten might get 4, SEC might get 4. So you're already talking about the Big 12 champion and who would the other champion? That would be all 4 of them, wouldn't it? And the ACC champion. So you add that in. Now you're already talking about 8, 9 spots. You got to add in the highest ranked Group of 5 champion. So that's only going to leave like 2 spots. And I really feel like at this point they would go Big 12 or anywhere other than the ACC. Big 12, Big 10, SEC. So did Miami losing today cost them a chance, the ACC conference, getting 2 teams into the playoffs?
In my opinion, yes. And for 3 words, strength of schedule. Mm-hmm. It's just simple as that. I mean, from top to bottom, there's not as many good teams, honestly. Let's just be frank about it. You really got 3 teams in the ACC. You got SMU, Clemson, and Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, that are really in contention. Well, Pitt had a really bad loss recently.
Yeah, dude. So, I told SMU to chill out on them last week. I was like, SMU, it was like 41-11 at one point.
That's the team to beat. Yeah, SMU's the team to beat. They're clicking on all cylinders. All cylinders. I mean, that penalty from a while back is long gone. Long gone.
Oh yeah. And SMU, the coach was on Jim Rome the other day.
Really?
And yeah, he was on Jim Rome the other day, and Jim Rome asked him, he was like, what was your biggest transfer portal need this year? Offensive line and defensive line. He said that they had to build size and depth to be able to compete in the ACC. And they've done that. Yep. I mean, they have been a very good team. It depends on how the ACC shakes out. They still definitely have an upward chance of getting more than 1 team in. But there's all kind of ways that this could go here at the end where it literally might just be the ACC champion that gets in my opinion. And so, speaking of that, let's move to Ohio State and Purdue. Ohio State continued to look dominant today, 45-0. And Rowdy Rooster, did you see this? Their band came out and made a formation of a bear pooping. Yes, you heard me say pooping. When Uncle Poops isn't on the show for once, I said poop. A bear pooping on the Michigan logo at halftime of their game.
Oof.
That rivalry is.
I didn't see that.
You hadn't seen it? Look it up. It's pretty good.
No, I'm going to look it up, yeah.
I'm confused about the bear part. But Ohio State continues to look dominant. Of course, Penn State might stay in the mix for a playoff contender spot. You've got Oregon, obviously. Indiana, who just beat Michigan. So any thoughts on Big Ten? I think they're going to get 4 teams in, honestly. I think it'll be 3 from the SEC and 4 from the Big Ten, if I had to say right now.
I could see that, but I know how everybody loves the SEC. So I could see them voting for SEC school. But, man, Indiana, where'd they come from?
Right.
Where did
Cignetti, baby. Kurt Cignetti, man. That's a dude.
Dude, they got a legit quarterback. He's good. They're smooth with everything they're doing right now. They had a little tough time with Michigan today, but hey, man, they won when they needed to. Ohio State definitely got to be up there. Really, I honestly think Penn State's gonna crap the bed. I really think they are.
Yeah, I thought
So
they would earlier in the year. Honestly, Penn State. I thought they would before the Ohio State game.
yeah, I mean, I could see where it could be. I could see where it could be 3, and I could see where it could be 2.
Mm,
Honestly, I mean, so, but it just all depends on how they want to vote. I mean, it's the eye test. Everybody talks about the eye test. That's what they look at. I mean, a lot of times it seems like this year they care more about who you beat rather than who you lost to. But that just depends on the day. They could change their mind the next time they go to vote.
right. That's the problem, though. I think with the CFP is they will not penalize teams enough for losses, and they won't
No.
reward teams enough for wins unless. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I thought I had to burp. My bad. The CFP, though, they will not penalize or reward teams enough unless it's just an egregious loss. So, like, for example, Texas A&M and Texas are going to be playing here soon. Whoever loses that game, they will not fall more than 1 or 2 spots. They won't gain more than 1 or 2 spots. So if all of these teams that are in the top 12 already, if they were just to win out, I think that CFP would look almost identical final week to the first week. And so we're getting 26 minutes. We're going to try to shut it down here in a minute. Let's get me this one question in. And it's regarding the SEC and the playoffs and all that.
All right.
So, say for example, you could either one you want to pick. I don't care, Texas or Texas A&M. What if they finish 7-1? Right, that's a possibility in the SEC. And then what if you have, I don't know, 3 teams that are 6-2? And so for the college football playoff selection, they're going to have to use the tiebreaker in the SEC to actually determine who finishes 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Because to me, how you finish in the SEC should determine whether or not you get into the playoff. So you can't say that all of these teams are tied for 3rd. You can't say that they're all tied for 6th. So we're going to see this tiebreaker thing come in, I think, here. And I think that's going to – I do not envy anybody on the committee. I really don't.
Yeah. I can see that, but with the caveat that it goes back to, in my opinion, strength of schedule. I mean, you have some SEC schools who played not near as hard as a schedule as other SEC schools, and they may have the same record. I can't punish a 7-1 Texas team, who played a harder schedule than, let's say, we'll say Vanderbilt, honestly.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? So it just all depends. A lot of it depends on, like I said, it depends on eye test. It depends a lot on strength of schedule. But I'm with you. I do agree with you.
Right. Well, so, and this is how it breaks down. Okay. So the first thing they're going to do is look at the head-to-head.
Correct.
All right. That is the easiest tiebreaker. Did Team A beat Team B? Second, though, this is where it gets really crazy. I even looked up the Big Ten ones the other night. And then we're going to finish up with a couple more games, and then we're going to be out of here, y'all. Again, Southern Fried Sports, thank you for being here. Johnny, I see 3 people watching. Facebook, sorry we're not on Facebook, but that's why you got to come be on YouTube. You get all the best content from us on YouTube. So the first one was head-to-head. Second one is record versus all common conference opponents, which that's going to be a big deal for ACC between Clemson and SMU, Pitt, Miami. That's how that one's going to be shaken out there. Right now, Miami is ahead of Clemson based on virtue of a tiebreaker. Step 3, though, for the SEC is record against highest placed common conference opponent in the conference standings and proceeding through the conference standings among tied teams. What does that even mean? And I read that right. Let me read that one more time. Record against highest parentheses best placed common conference opponent in the conference standings and proceeding through the conference standings among tied teams. Well, like I just said, there's going to be like 4 teams that are tied with a 6-2 record.
Yep.
So that rule doesn't even make sense. Step 4, cumulative conference winning percentage of all conference opponents among tied teams. Again, you're comparing within the conference and within the conference. And then here is the kicker. Random coin flip.
Yeah.
They want to get down to that one at the bottom so bad because, say, for example, Bama and Georgia, Ole Miss and Tennessee. What if they were all tied 6-2 and none of those tiebreakers broke it? But you get to go down there at the bottom and say random draw. Oh, I'll take Bama. I'll take Georgia. I'll take the biggest brands.
That's
Rowdy,
exactly what they're doing.
Is that not crazy, though?
Well, honestly, think about it. Who's to say they didn't set this up in a way that was going to be that way?
That's why they went away from divisions.
Yeah.
You knew we were going to have 4 teams tied with a 6-2 record in the conference, if not more, honestly.
Right. I mean, it's something that we're going to see how it's going to shake up, how they're going to figure it out. I figured they would give maybe each head coach that's not playing in those games a vote that's in the SEC to see, or someone outside of the SEC, just to see who that person could be. Because a coin flip, I mean, come on, that's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy.
Unless
you might as well have a meet at the 50-yard line and play rock paper scissors. I mean,
hey, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Well, hey, we'll take that one to Congress, man. Everybody sues the NCAA, so we'll sue the SEC over their tiebreaker rules,
or
we'll sue the NFL over their overtime rules too.
You could go with what team has the highest offensive efficiency or defensive efficiency, who has the most touchdowns, maybe, perhaps, who has the most turnovers. I mean, there's plenty of ways to do it, not a freaking coin flip.
Yeah. Well, even then, I think part of the rule used to be they would look at whatever the rankings were. So, if teams were tied, say, they would look at whoever had the highest BCS ranking would be the 3rd team in the SEC.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth.
It's hard to go by that, too, because rankings can be skewed. Like I know, you can see a team that might be 6-3 and ranked, and another team has a better record, and they're lower than them. It makes no sense.
Right.
They're going off of analytics, I believe, a little too much.
Yeah, that could be true. I know the one person that they do need to reach out to would be Kelly Ford of KFordRatings.com. I've had him on the show before. Dude, he could flat fit college football.
And if you have not seen his stats and everything that he does, it is mind-boggling. You can see. I can sit there and read numbers for days.
Every team, percentages of their chance to win X amount of conference games. He's got the power ratings, man. It's literally, it's insane. It's very in-depth, right?
I'm gonna start calling him the stat man.
Right. I think he's good with Kelly Ford, and he works in a college athletic department. By the way,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like full time. I don't know exactly who for. I know somewhere around Indiana, I believe, is where he's from.
Huh.
But yeah, he's like a big. I think he's even posted on X about it before. And speaking of X, ladies and gentlemen, it is JD Wyatt, the Southern Fried Gentleman of Southern Fried Sports. Let's go watch Alabama and LSU. Let's hopefully watch Oklahoma going ahead and putting down Missouri 9-3 in the 3rd quarter. I'm not sure what the Bama Ole Miss, or God, I keep saying Ole Miss. Words are hard. Bama LSU game. I should remember that because there's a live tiger in the stadium.
Who you picking, JD? Who you picking?
Bama was up 14-3.
Yeah. Who you picking? Bama, LSU. Who you picking?
Bama.
Roll Tide. All right. Who you picking? OU.
Missouri.
You picking Missouri?
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No. That was dumb. What am
I was
talking
about to say.
Oklahoma. No. What am I talking? Yeah, that was stupid.
Oh,
I
you.
definitely answered that one.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
used to asking the questions. I'm not used to answering them.
You're all right. Well, don't forget. Georgia got waxed. So yeah, we didn't really talk about that. But
yeah, no, we did. Yeah, I didn't get to the Ole Miss Georgia game. I got a bunk bed that I got to go put together though.
you're fine. You're fine, JD. I'll be back
hey,
definitely.
Absolutely. But hey, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Rowdy Rooster. You can go follow him on X at Joshua W0524. Big Gamecock fan, knower of ball. Also, he won that gift card, y'all. Get in here, subscribe, send me the business of your choice, and you will be registered to win. We need to get to 100 subscribers. Rowdy Rooster, man, you killed it though. And that was another thing we were talking about with the SEC, man. Ole Miss just wrecked the SEC standings even more. Bama and LSU, depending what happens there, probably going to wreck them some more because LSU also has their out-of-conference loss too.
Yeah, it makes that butt whipping we got feel a little bit better. That they beat Georgia like that.
Well, and the way that things are coming together for the Gamecocks makes me feel a lot better. So again, though, hey, y'all hit us with some comments. You can go back and listen after the fact. JD, thank you for being here. Chuck, Rowdy Rooster, you my man. Do you have a saying that you want to say before you get out of here?
I don't, man. I don't. I ain't came up with one yet. Give me next time. I'll have you something good. That'll be my saying. But you can call me Old Heavy if you don't want to call me Rowdy Rooster.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Go get you some bologna and a loaf of bread. You have yourself a pleasant evening. All right.
Got me a hot dog in there waiting on me.
Oh man, yeah, that sounds good. I got a little bit of leftover Mexican food, I think.
Woo! I had quesadillas today.
Absolutely. Hey, that's always a good one. I did a rose con pollo.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I don't like ordering like tacos and stuff to go from Mexican restaurants.
Yeah. Hey,
you know what I mean? So, yeah, I did the rice and cheese and chicken.
We need to unite the people with some more food talk from now on when we can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I usually definitely try to mix in some food talk. Hey man, and I'm glad you've been here. You're welcome anytime. That seat's been warm for you, bro. Listen, be blessed, not stressed. Have a great evening, and just be kind. All right, Rowdy, we'll see you later. Go Gamecocks, my friend.
Let's go.
Spurs up, he says. So again, ladies and gentlemen, that was Rowdy Rooster. Thank you for being here this evening. Don't forget, GreenvilleSportsMedia.com, TheFurmanJoust.com. Go Gamecocks. Great win, Tigers. Ole Miss, Georgia. The SEC is an absolute jungle. We've got 40 monkeys and a tiger loose down here in the Southeast right now, literally and figuratively, within the conference standings of football. We've got basketball season. We've got high school football playoffs. Y'all, bring me topics. Hit subscribe. And again, let me say one more time. Bang, bang, chicken gang. We out here.